This your love can be like felony. Spend my night trying to wrap my mind around what you said and what you're telling me. Yeah. Pull me closer, wrap your arms around me, yeah. Transform my whole body, use me as your home. So pull me closer, yeah. Wrap your arms around me, transform my whole body, yeah. Use me as your home.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to welcome you to Illinois Humanities' first ever Envisioning Justice Rapid Response series. My name is Jane Beachy, and I'm the Artistic Director of Illinois Humanities.
Um, Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Tyrese Williams, and I'm the project manager for Envisioning Justice. And what you just heard in the intro was the a cappella version of Free You by Osa North. And this song was featured in an installation called Present Tense that was created by Kirsten Lenars in collaboration with Circles and Ciphers for the beloved Envisioning Justice exhibition.
So let us describe to you a little bit what's going to happen tonight. We're going to share with you 8 videos, each made by a humanist, an artist, or a community organizer working in system impacted communities in Illinois. All of these videos are responding to this present moment that we're all living in today. But before we get into that, let us tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do. So, Illinois Humanities is the state affiliate for the National Endowment for the Humanities, and we exist to strengthen the social, political, and economic fabric of Illinois through constructive conversation and community engagement.
And Envisioning Justice, which is created and facilitated by Illinois Humanities, engages Illinoisans in a conversation about the impacts of mass incarceration on local communities, and encourages folks to use the arts and humanities to devise strategies towards a truly just society.
So, through Envisioning Justice, Illinois Humanities has had the opportunity to do a lot of different things. We've partnered really closely with 7 different organizations and collectives throughout the city of Chicago that, for our purposes, we call community hubs. We've offered statewide grants, and spoiler alert, we're about to announce another round of statewide Envisioning Justice grants. So keep your eyes peeled to our websites after May 15th. We have commissioned artists, and as Tyrese mentioned, we have produced a large-scale exhibition, also known by the convenient moniker Envisioning Justice. And in this next phase of Envisioning Justice, we're about to embark on a lot of really exciting activities. We are extremely keen to collaborate and partner with artists, humanists, organizers, and even policymakers, specifically in 6 different communities, system impacted communities within 6 different cities and towns throughout Illinois. Those would be Carbondale, East St. Louis, Decatur, Urbana-Champaign, Pontiac, and Galesburg. Of course, we're interested in other communities beyond that, and throughout it all, we continue to partner with our partners in Chicago.
And prior to all that has happened, unfortunately, with the COVID-19 pandemic, we were gearing up to travel in late spring and summer to the 6 communities in which Jane just mentioned. And the plan was to go to those communities, meet folks, to hear their stories and perspectives, to build partnerships, but also to share those grant making opportunities that we'd have available. Unfortunately, as you might expect, we're unable to travel at this time, and that has been postponed. But we do have some really exciting things on the horizon. So we encourage you to follow us on all of our social media at Illinois Humanities, hashtag Envisioning Justice. All of our handles should be popping up in the comment section momentarily.
Hey, that's a really good segue, Tyrese, to a couple of important shout outs that we need to offer. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Illinois Humanities Senior Director, Chris Gazaitis. Chris is our chat master tonight. She's managing the comments section. She's probably posting those social media channels right now. We couldn't do this without her, so thank you so much, Chris. And secondly, I want to give an enormous thank you to the technical prowess and internet bending skills of, surprise, he's right next to me, Tony Santiago, everyone. That's my quarantine partner. And we're so happy that he's helping us out with this tonight because I have no idea how to make it all happen.
And as you all know, and as we stated, we are, of course, in the midst of a global pandemic. And we all have been impacted by this moment in a variety of ways. But more specifically, this has had an impact on some of the most vulnerable communities. And so with this rapid response series, it's our hope that we can make visible the work that folks are doing to envision a truly just society, and that we can connect folks who are doing works to support those who are currently heavily impacted by mass incarceration and by the criminal legal system.
So tonight's theme is refuge. While most of us are taking refuge at home right now, tens of thousands of detained and incarcerated Illinoisans grapple with how to stay safe in living environments that are largely out of their control. So how does the current public health crisis unearth or upend our assumptions, laws, and practices as they relate to notions of justice, safety, and home?
Started?
Yes, please. I'd love to do that. I'm going to switch over to my little fancy bios over here because I get to introduce our first contributors, and I'm so thrilled. So our first video comes to us from Sarah Ross and Damon Locks. Sarah and Damon are two of the primary forces behind the Prison and Neighborhood Arts Project, also known as PNAP. PNAP is a visual arts and humanities project that connects teaching artists and scholars to men at Stateville Maximum Security Prison in Crest Hill, Illinois, through classes, workshops, and guest lectures. Illinois Humanities has had the pleasure of working with PNAP in a number of ways. PNAP has been an Envisioning Justice grantee. Sarah and Damon and PNAP have offered guest workshops to our Sojourner Scholars through our Sojourner Scholars program. And Sarah, Damon, and some of their students at Stateville were our artist contributors to our Envisioning Justice exhibition. Besides that, they're just really incredible artists and people in their own right. So it is my pleasure to welcome this video from Sarah Ross and Damon Locks.
We got word around March 15th that the prison had been put on lockdown and both visits and classes would be suspended. We knew that would probably be bad because the conditions of prisons do not allow for social distancing, and healthcare is notoriously poor.
Every year there are outbreaks of influenza in state prisons, and this would be even worse. As the virus spread through the prison, we heard reports that things were not good inside. We heard of stories of people coughing throughout the night, A former student was hospitalized on a respirator, and we feared for our older students and people with underlying conditions. Out here, we worked with other organizations to get soap and hand sanitizer into the prison. We made calls to the governor's office and made images to support release of people. Decarceration is the only way to keep people safe from this virus.
Ultimately, there is no refuge for people in prison. And for us, there's little refuge when we think about our students in prison. No one was sentenced to die from a virus by being trapped in place.
Thank you so much, Sarah and Damon. That is not only a very powerful piece, but it's also very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes, I second that. Thank you so much. So up next, we have a video contribution from Charlene Grace and the staff of Community Bond Fund, which pays bond for people charged with crimes in the Cook County, Illinois, or in the Cook County Jail. In particular, individuals whose communities cannot afford to pay the bonds themselves or who have been impacted by structural violence. The Chicago Community Bond Fund is an Envisioning Justice grantee, and for their stellar informational videos explaining the processes of money bond, and they have been heavily involved in informing the public about the health crisis that's unfortunately unfolding in the Cook County Jail. We know that they're incredibly busy at this time with all of the work that they're doing, so we are honored that they took the time to make this video for us. So please, without further ado, welcome Chicago Community Bond Fund.
We, the pretrial detainees at the Cook County Jail, are contacting you due to the drastic matter at hand, the COVID-19 virus. Cook County Jail has not been handing out hand soap, hand sanitizer. The bathroom, shower areas have no soap to wash hands. The showers are moldy, dirty, and moist air and humid, which bacteria lives longer and spread faster. Officers and new inmates have already brought the virus into different divisions and parts of the jail. It is inhumane to have human beings incarcerated and away from their loved ones while such a contagious, life-threatening virus epidemic is continuing to spread throughout the world and within this jail. Every human life matters, no matter the seriousness of their case he or she is accused of. Because of the constitutional law and honesty, we all are innocent until proven guilty. We, the pretrial detainees, would like to thank you and your organization for the efforts you continue to speak for those who are not allowed to have a voice, to protest this inhumane treatment and danger Cook County Jail is forcing us to.
Gathered here outside of Cook County Jail, demanding, in the words of Moses, to let our people go. Jails are anything but places of health. That for the people who are locked within these cells, physical distancing, it's impossible. There's no way for them to be able to be safe in this particular moment.
Son, this is my baby. He's in there with a lot of sick people. And it can mess him up for him to be sick. Just let him come home. Free my brother!
This is a growing crisis, with the epicenter being right here in Cook County Prison. We have emailed, we have called, we have begged our elected officials to act to release these people now so that they are not sentenced to death. Nobody wants to come out of their house right now, but we have to, because there are people inside these walls that cannot go home. Free them all, mass release now.
There are 5,000 people in the county jail, and some are there because they cannot afford to bond out. The determining factor of you sitting in jail should not be because you cannot afford to post bond. Today, in the face of the coronavirus, it makes the situation even more disturbing. Now here we are. We got people in jail who can't get out and their lives are in danger. We have to do something. If we don't, people are going to die. We need to take action now, not just here in Cook County, but across the country.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Amazing.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much to the Chicago Community Bond Fund for that video contribution, for all of the work that you do and the advocacy that you do for the folks on the inside, and for giving us the opportunity to hear their voices.
We appreciate you. And we appreciate our next contributor as well, who I'm very excited to introduce to everyone. Our next contributor, Nick Smoligo, hails from Carbondale, Illinois. He is an organizer with the Carbondale Spring, a community project to transform the town of Carbondale, Illinois, in the face of the social, ecological, and economic challenges of our time. I first heard about Nick and the Carbondale Spring through our friends and Envisioning Justice commissioned artists Project Fielding. And when I finally had the opportunity to chat with him on the phone, I had one of the most interesting conversations of the year. So I am very excited to introduce him to the rest of you as well. Please welcome this video contribution from Nick Smoligo.
What political dreams are taking shape during this pandemic in the minds of those who govern? What political dreams are taking shape for the rest of us? The bubonic plague created a new political dream among the rulers of Europe. In response to it, entire societies were put on lockdown, people confined to their homes, and the world outside subject to surveillance that had been unthinkable. This dream of total control contributed to the modern prison system. Confinement and surveillance became a response to chaotic contagion, whether it be a plague or a popular resistance. Capitalism grew through forcing people to see money as the condition of their lives after robbing them of the land that had sustained them. The police and prison system developed to ensure that people would suffer if they refused to bow to the economy, bringing the lives of millions under unprecedented forms of control and directing our labor toward the systematic destruction of the Earth's life systems. Even before the coronavirus, it was clear that the economic conditions of our lives are destroying the conditions for all life. This insight has been with us for at least half a century. 50 years ago, our small town of Carbondale, Illinois, was the site of a rebellion against the U.S. war machine and the earth-destroying system it maintains. For 8 days, students and residents battled the police and National Guard in the street, throwing their bodies against a war they recognized was not just taking place in Vietnam. Like so many around the country, people in our town drew the courageous conclusion that life here had to be fundamentally transformed if justice everywhere was to be realized. The wars have long since been brought home. The counterinsurgency tactics developed around the globe became the manuals of local police departments, and the largest prison system in the world was built to contain and crush movements that struggled for new forms of life. Today, the dreams of those who rebelled live on in the movement for abolition of police and prisons, a political dream of its own, challenging the assumption that communities are safer when people are seen as expendable. Will the new normal be a deepening of the carceral logic that had already structured our society, now welcomed by millions in the name of public health? Or will we simply return to the old normal, callously disregarding the threat in the name of maintaining the economy? We have to create another option. How will we both protect each other from the virus and protect each other from a governing logic that has destroyed so many lives and brought us to the brink of extinction? In the midst of climate change, pandemic, and the rise of new forms of authoritarian control, our common condition is made clear. We are all potential refugees, patients, and prisoners. Our moral imperative today is to build communities of refuge, to spend our lives building the place we would want to land should we have to flee. Treat those fleeing as we would want to be treated, should we lose everything.
Thank you so much, Nick Smoligo. That was important and really powerful. Thank you.
Yes. So up next, we have a video contribution from Jose Olivares, who hails from Calumet City, Illinois. His debut book of poems, Citizen Illegal, was a finalist for the PEN Gene Stein Award and a winner of the 2018 Chicago Review of Books and Poetry Prize. He is co-editing the forthcoming anthology, The Breakbeat Poets, Volume 4, Latinx, and he is the co-host of the poetry podcast, The Poetry Gods. He has taught poetry workshops, developed writing courses, and performed all over the country, including right here in Illinois at the National Museum of Mexican Art, and with young Chicago authors. We are so excited to welcome this video from Jose Olivares.
My name is Jose Olivares. This poem is untitled. We took refuge from the cold by making fire. We took refuge from the animals by building houses. We took refuge from each other by building fences. We took refuge from hunger by farming. We took refuge from loneliness by telling stories. We took refuge from illness by making medicine. We took refuge from each other by making laws. Then the police knocked on our doors. We took refuge from the law by pleading with the king. We took refuge from the king by electing representatives. We took refuge from other nation states by building borders. We took refuge from thirst by drinking water. We took refuge from the criminals by making weapons. We took refuge from our neighbor by closing the door. We took refuge from our neighbor's suffering by closing the door. We took refuge from the hungry by calling them criminals. We took refuge from the houseless by calling them criminals. We took refuge from the sick by casting them out. Then they were criminals. We took refuge from the criminals by building weapons. We could not take refuge from the sadness. We could not take refuge from our egos. We took refuge from danger by building high security prisons. But we were never safe, no matter how many cops, no matter how many prisons, no matter how militarized the borders. We could not find refuge. The corporations complained, so they were given refuge. The billionaires gave away nothing and were given refuge. And us, who had given away every refuge we had, we must create a new refuge. We must get rid of the police, get rid of La Migra. We must get rid of all prisons. We must become a refuge for each other.
Wow.
Yes, thank you, Jose, for those incredibly moving words, and for reminding us of our collective agency toward creating our own refuge.
Yeah, I feel like I just had to take a break and a breather right now. Tyrese and I have had the good fortune of spending a lot of time with these video contributions and reflecting on them. We know they're going by really quickly for each of you, so we will be posting a link to this full show after we have a chance to upload it, after it's done. We encourage you to go back and spend some time with each of these videos. They are all stunning in their own right, and they really help us towards our goal of kind of understanding how people are making meaning or interpreting this particular moment in time. Also, I want to let you know that after we finish with our 8 videos tonight, we're going to be in store for a treat. We have a DJ set by Elo Kari from Free Write Arts and Literacy, and it's going to be really good. I had a chance to see a little teaser. But now I'd like to introduce our next video contributor. Oh, she's so wonderful. Trisha Hersey is the founder of the Nap Ministry, which is an organization that examines the liberating power of naps. The Nap Ministry engages with the power of performance art, site-specific installations, and community organizing to install sacred and safe spaces for the community to rest together. It facilitates immersive workshops and curates performance art that examines rest as a radical tool for community healing. Trisha and the Nap Ministry believe that rest is a form of resistance and names sleep deprivation as a racial and social justice issue. Trisha had a magnificent installation in the Envisioning Justice exhibition. In fact, an image from it was our featured image on social media and on our websites for this very event. For more really wonderful humanities-based content from Trisha and the Nap Ministry, I highly encourage you to follow her blog, which is thenapministry.wordpress.com. For now, please welcome this video from Trisha Hersey.
Hi, I'm Trisha Hersey, and I'm founder of the Nap Ministry. And when I think of the theme of refuge, I think of how rest is a refuge for many. And then when I also think about the concept of grief and what's happening right now with the coronavirus pandemic, I think of grief and how grief can be a refuge for us right now, for us to sit and not skip over the steps of our collective healing, because grief is on the path to healing, and how we can't skip over that in our effort to get over it and get past it and be productive, and how refuge is a fortress and a hideaway and protection for us, and how rest supports our grieving. And so I think of refuge, I immediately think of rest, and I think of grief, and I think of grief right in the moment of our collective grief dealing with this global pandemic and losing so many and so many things. So I wanted to read this short poem by Rumi that uplifts the concept of grief and accepting and sitting in things that are what they are. The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delights. And the question from that is, how does your life feel like a guest house? How does the grief that we're sitting in feel like something that we should accept in and move through? And so I think about rest, I think about grief, I think about refuge, and I am sending you so much love and so much rest energy, and hope you are well rested.
Incredible.
Production studio on the south side of Chicago. As an educator, she learns from young people ages 16 to 22 about freedom of mobility, safety, and surveillance. Most recently, she interviewed detainees at the Cook County Jail about the pandemic. So this piece contains an excerpt from that and is a personal reflection on imagining a future after this crisis. I am so happy to share this contribution with you from Myra Kwaja.
In the morning when we wake, we say, "You're fucking kidding me." It's November 2016 again, but now the grief is not anticipatory. I wake and say grace for food and health and solitude.
because we're on a medical debt. Everybody here has some type of medical problems or some type of medical issues are taking some type of medicine. And the fact that we're here, we're not even being able to take the medicine that we need. I was also just recently diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. I have no medicine. I'm not seeing the doctors. You know, it's very nasty around here. We're not getting cleaning supplies, hand sanitizer, and on top of that, we're not able to social distance. The phones are literally 2 feet from each other. The beds are 3 feet from each other. We sleep 3 feet from the next person. So, you know, it's hard to social distance and keep ourselves away from getting sick. I feel it's kind of like they're just leaving us in here and saying, you know, whatever happens, happens.
There is another side of this. It is slower, it is surveilled, it is gentler. There are fewer of us. We care for our neighbors knowing what we've been through. We are less afraid. We are more anxious. There's no left, just us and them. We fight and we win, and we don't get to celebrate. There were mass deaths in our prisons, and so now we don't have them. There were tragedies in the nursing homes, so now we care for our elders differently. Progress tastes bitter. I'd like to just get there. Our future will be for everyone, for all of us who make it. One day when we get there, we will gather in a basement, at a house party, the lake, and leave our phones at home. My VR set will give me a migraine. My bike will be a release. The Postal Service will deliver us each a box of tests, masks, gloves, checks. We reconstituted the Postal Service after a long, drawn-out fight, after a new party won the presidential election over it, after a private company couldn't do the job. We will swim underwater where we can't wear masks.
Thank you so much, Myra, for that really beautiful video. I am so happy that we were all able to witness that incredible contribution.
As am I. And for those of you who let us know we were having a little audio issue earlier, thank you. That's how you know it's live. Also, this is an incredibly exciting and complex system of cueing and liveness and then semi-liveness going on here, which is what led me to merely say the one word incredible after Trisha's amazing video. I could say many more words than that. Balancing things, we are live. And speaking of people who are really, really amazing at being live and who I admire and aspire to be as poised as, I'm very excited to introduce our next contributor, Christiana Ray Colon. Christiana is a poet, a playwright, an actor, an educator, Cave Canem Fellow, creator of Black Sex Matters, and co-founder of the Let Us Breathe Collective, one of Illinois Humanities Envisioning Justice Chicago community hubs. Christiana's writing, producing, and organizing work together to radically reimagine power structures, our complicity in them, and visions for liberation. If you don't already know Christiana's work, I am very excited for you to have this opportunity to begin to follow her. So for now, please welcome her video contribution.
I believe in a world where 4,000 inmates breathe on their bars and cages float open. 8,000 lungs expand without a chorus of coughs. 16,000 grandparents wait with collard greens and caramel cake for their babies to come home. This is a spell for surveillance bracelets to turn caterpillar, capoeira into cocoon that crack open and butterfly the ankles of uncles and husbands the state named collateral. I believe in a world where factories in La Villita are only demolished by vines climbing from the earth to reclaim the vacancy, where vagrancy is healed by bathing feet that have wandered too long, and midnight blue songs float past smokestacks where teen mischief slips pink crystals in all the coat pockets on the coat rack, where me, my brother, my cousins, my daddy, my lovers, and a random couple from London all blow back on the lakefront, and the lake warm, and no blue lights swarm the bike path, shining lights at where we bake up or lace our brown hands. We sculpt a cosmos of co-ops and communes, not castles in the sand, where shackles shift to sand. We are fractals of the sun. We the mist the land exhales when ancestors having fun. I believe in time undone to crumble capital. I believe the time has come to rupture status quo. I believe the breathing radicals whose feet aimed at freedom. I believe the lives inside matter and we have to act to free them. I believe the lives inside matter and we have to act to free them. I believe the lives inside matter and we have to act to free them. And when I say inside, what I don't mean is those of us who have the privilege of sheltering at home. If your Uncle Bob is protesting the stay-at-home order, please call his ass and tell him to have all the seats. Nurses and first responders are dying and their lives matter more than your right to a matcha latte. When I say we have to act to free them, I mean the more than 4,150 people who remain incarcerated in Cook County Jail, where at least 506 people detained in the jail have tested positive for COVID-19. If you include staff that have gotten sick, that's more than 800 people. 6 human beings have died of complications related to COVID-19 while incarcerated. Thousands of Black and brown people sit in jail without having been convicted of a crime for no other reason than they cannot afford bail. Money bond is not supposed to be pre-trial punishment. And punishment does not heal the harms caused by violence and disinvestment. It promises only more violence. I believe that a world without prisons and police is possible when we invest in healing communities. But until we achieve that world, we must end money bond and locking people up just because they can't afford their bail. Free them all. Mass release now.
Thank you so much, Christiana, for that incredible video. Every time that I hear you speak and perform and see you perform, my mind is always blown. It's been a pleasure to work with you through Envisioning Justice so far. Believe it or not, we have reached our last performer. And so I am going to introduce Shia Mitchell. But before I get into his bio, I just wanted to remind you all that there is going to be a lovely DJ session by DJ Elo Kari immediately following this live stream. So make sure you tune into that. So Shia Mitchell is a longtime member of Envisioning Justice, Community Hubs, Circles, and Ciphers, which is in Rogers Park. And so over time, Shia has worked with incarcerated youth, foster children, and children in need through community work and facilitated peace circles. And so we have had many things tonight, but what we have not had is an original rap. But we will have that momentarily. So we're so grateful to Shia for taking the time to write this incredible rap and to perform his original Refuge rap for this series. So take it away, Shia.
Man, back at it again, bro. See Cool on the track, you feel me? Hey, man, shout out to Circles, man. Shout out to anybody else, man. Any participants, wherever you at, you feel me? Seek refuge, killer things less to. I don't wanna feel pressed to be less than circumstances I be best to. When I flow on the beat, I get the load up. When I go and drown in the deep, man full of peace, river bullshit, verbal flow atrocious. But down through some cracks, I must have run and knocking, slipping in deep. But my thoughts when a nigga wake up, quick shake up. Tough nigga need a break up, trying to get his cake up. Blood drain from a leech called epidemic. Tough transcending land in the linen seats. When I'm linen all the time and I'm free, when I could be chilling with free. Void keep me fresh off a breeze. But please, more refuge like it is an intervention in Brad Pitt's intercessions. And I gotta wake up, no mistakes for whatever takes us just to stay here. Float, aroma strong. I just turn a nigga platter, make him scatter. Pockets getting hella pounds to it, getting fatter. Cause you know I be the GOAT, you getting curry gold. Make them told British kids, nanny kids, eating soap. Young nigga going through some things, need a coat. Tough stuff with a chicken, marinated coat. Besides the tough part, I need refuge. And I got it. Got the house over my head. My family fed, nobody is dead. Never wrong when you lit. Comfortable in my bed, 4 legs holding up my table. Hot soup pouring off a fucking hot ladle. Got it. Just lucky had a place to have, a place to bag. Got a journeys in. Paid for a seat in the rag. New leaf in the scabs. But, you know what I'm saying, man? Hey, man, shout out to everyone else, G.
Shia, that was incredible. Thank you so much. I really listened to that many times and kept unearthing additional layers of it every time. So thank you all so much for joining us for those 8 videos that constituted the very first ever Envisioning Justice Rapid Response series from Illinois Humanities.
Yes. Thank you all so much. And if you want to watch this again or share it with your friends, we'll be posting a link to the full show on our social media channels in the next couple of hours. So stay tuned.
And huge thanks go out to all of our contributors, to everyone on the Illinois Humanities staff. You are all incredible. We're so lucky to work with you. Huge thanks to our amazing funders, the Art for Justice Fund, the Mellon Foundation, and the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Safety and Justice Challenge. We are so grateful to you. And again, a huge thanks to, he's been right here the whole time, Tony Santiago, Tony in the booth, for making all of this happen.
Yes. And if you enjoyed this, good news, we will be hosting another one of these programs next month. So keep your eyes peeled to our social media for those announcements.
But right now, don't go anywhere, because DJ Elokari from Free Write Arts and Literacy is about to join us for an amazing DJ set. He's got visuals all lined up. You don't want to miss it. Till then, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Pull me closer, wrap your arms around me, yeah. Transform my whole body, use me as your own. Pull me closer, wrap your arms around me, yeah. Transform my whole body, use me as your own. Pull me closer, transform my whole body, wrap your arms around me, yeah.
Yo, how you guys doing, man? This is your boy, DJ Elokari. How y'all doing, man? Thank y'all so much for listening in. I am super honored to be a part of this event for the Rapid Response video series. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I'm going to be playing some tunes for you. My name is DJ Elokari.
My name is DJ Elokari. In the mix.
And what we're going to do is get some nice tunes going for you guys ASAP. And we also might be hearing some poems from our students at Free Write Arts and Literacy. So I hope you all enjoy. We're about to have a good time today. And I want everybody to just enjoy and know what it is all about, which is our people. And let's go ahead and just get this started.
My name is DJ Elokari. In the mix.
My name is Oscar, and I'm representing Team Free Right. And the name of my piece is Survive the System. System just hit ya, life sentence can't take it, so fake it, you're now a mister. So many shoot, rob, lie, get jammed and become a Christian. Only the toughest lace it, associate with the racist, the weak, wait, and impatient. Race and keynote, something I thought you would want to know. I've been in the position, the 21 consecutively, so many birthdays and holidays I spent in a population of 10 unsegregated. We mixed from different neighborhoods. Nobody understood how it really feels, not leaving the 16-room monitorized, 15 camera type, emotionally fight demons inside. Angel outside, visitation only lasts 45. Let's match it to the 45 the minor got because he was system lied, and the system lied. Moms in the courts couldn't take it. It was like retaliation.
DJ Hello Car.
Let's make a toast. Let's get drunk, it's gonna bring us closer. Don't I look like a Halle Berry poster? See the Belvedere playing tricks on ya. Girlfriend wanna be like me, never. You won't find a chick that's even better. I make you hot as Las Vegas weather. Listen up close while I take it backwards. Oh, I be instant, listen me with you. I'm not a prostitute, but I can give you what you want. I love your braids and your mouth full of phones. You love the way my butt boom, 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 boom. Keep your eyes on my boom, 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 boom. You think you can handle this? Ka-dunk, ka-dunk, dunk. Take my thumb off and my tail go boom. Cut the lights on so you see what I can do. Is it worth it? Staring in your face with a lust in my eyes. Sure, I don't give a damn, and you don't know that I've been everything. Nothing but see. So much fun with the people. Don't realize that I'm looking you up. Don't let me think of what you want. Let your mind think right, feed you up. Place no one else. Just my nation. So good and keep my thing at you. I want you so bad. I take your love right now.
It's not
In an effort to aid in the great shift, myriads of light bodies incarnate. To rock mics, complex, this hip-hop alchemy. When I was a kid, I watched Electric Company. Now I'm all grown, living life to the bone. New tone, spaceship take me home. Back to the seventh son, the seventh one. When I drop patience, Kevin's eloquent vernacular is black enough to break the chains of I'm hitting them with synonym adrenaline, then ascending up to the kingdoms of the heavens. And a matter of time before this rhyme infiltrates the bloodstream, enter the mind of a man living a life in Babylonia. I'm lonely as she went to California, Frisco, Hypnos, get close, crystals, taking it back to the raw rap rhyme.
You blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. Oh, yeah, cause you're watching that garbage, that garbage, that garbage.
Ooh, I love this girl. She's a superstar. You can't change the world. You're a superstar. Ooh, I love this girl. She's a superstar. Shot, aiming a T-dot, telling me that you're all when you know that you're not. Uptown, chilling at the corner store, thinking, why the hell do I front? I'm hardcore like Castro, master flows, past the golden links. Whatever you think, it's all old, get it? Whatever the cost, I will not force. MCs acting the boss, they all get tossed off the plank. Overdank, I don't burn. I got a lot to say, but really lots to learn. Turn, maybe you're just not concerned, whatever earn. Thinking for the most high, yearn to flip with this. Some hit to miss, don't get fooled by lyrical ventriloquist to twist. Mostly, I'm Chris Najee, come back to flip rap. Do it to the crowd, make them clap. Superstar.
DJ Aloka.
Visions of you and I. See you all around my way. Been meaning to say hi, but I'm just way too shy. I gotta make you see this.
Shout outs to Envisioning Justice. Thank you guys so much for having me.
I wonder if you even notice me. You gotta feel me.
living now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry 'em. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the pad. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. I'm so dull like yeah. We gon' blow like yeah. Straight up. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping up. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping up. Look how I'm geeking up. I'm so pretty. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. This is Sully. That's a tool. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh, know that. Ooh, get it. Hundred bands. Contraband. I got the plug on Oaxaca. Whoa. They gonna find you like Paco.
DJ Hello Car.
my city. Skittles taste the rainbow in my city lines. Red, blue, green, brown, pink, purple, and yellow. The L drain. My city's segregated. My city's both love and hate. You should've mixed the two, but somehow they mate. My city Chicago. My city Chirac. Young niggas on the block out there selling crack. My city bold. My city cold. My city Chicago. My county cook. My city cops. My city crooks. My city skyline. My city sexy. My city's a tour. My city's hurt and bruised, abused. My city only looks out for my city. My city streets, Lake, Halsted, Western, Madison, Stony, Exchange. My city's winters, my city blisters. My city summers, my city purge. My city moves.
Where all of my house heads at?
Take a look around at all the people. Everyone is trying hard to compete. If they only took the time to look a little deeper, they'll find, I'll find, you'll find that beauty is skin deep. It's not what you wear, it's just who you are. And if we're going far, then
Thank y'all so much for listening in. My name is DJ L.O. Kari, representing Free Write Arts and Literacy.
It's
remember that we also have people who cannot leave jail right now. And while we are enjoying ourselves and enjoying the music,
why can't they just set us free? Locking us up doesn't make us weak. Why you wanna fly, blackbird? You ain't ever gonna fly. No place big enough for holding all the tears you're gonna cry. I wanna be free, I wanna be me, I wanna be whole. 'Cause your mama's name was lonely, and your daddy's name was pain, and they called you Little Sorrow, 'cause you never love again. How can they keep me? I wanna feel the breeze, I'm gonna be strong. You ain't got no one to hold you, you ain't got no one to care. If you only understand it, nobody wants you anywhere. Locking us up makes us stronger. We want to be treated fairly. We want justice. We want our broken wings to fly again. So why you wanna fly, blackbird? You ain't ever gonna fly. Why you wanna fly, blackbird? You ain't ever gonna fly. Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening in. My name is DJ L.O. Kari. I appreciate you guys so much for joining in. And for all of you all that are in the comments right now, man, you guys have been giving me nothing but life. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Tony, for inviting me to play tunes for you guys. I honestly have not got a chance to DJ just like a regular set in a good little minute. So I hope I wasn't boring any of you guys. But I really, really appreciate you guys and all of y'all. Please do what you can to support our people. The people that are incarcerated, they're not numbers. These aren't statistics. These are people. Never forget that. Never forget that. When you see these things, people, honestly, I've had so many conversations about folks who have felt such discomfort throughout this time. And I'm just like, look, man, it's not the same. It is absolutely not the same. So just remember, man, these are not statistics. These are people. These are brothers. These are sisters. These are people's mothers. These are people's cousins. These are people's grandparents. These are people's, this can be your sister. This can be your brother. And if we are all connected, then that means we all got to do the work that is necessary. I appreciate everybody for listening in. Again, my name is DJ L.O. Kari. I appreciate you guys so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
They don't want to give a young black man a job, and they wonder why we sell crack, weed, and rob, and all these young black females selling sex for jobs, then get diagnosed with AIDS and commit suicide. A sad story, ends shortly, and it turns out she was pregnant. All God's children are important. Her son could have been the next Michael Jordan, but that was all cut short. She killed herself and her child, and all these people saying wow, and they label her as wild. But it really posed a threat, because all this really was a test. It was all cause and effect to show that racism is still in effect. And it's a fact, I promise that when I spit this verse, it sends chills down your back. It'll make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, because they know I expose the truth. But I just turned the page. All these inmates in jail are just the new forms of slaves. Slavery still exists as modern day slavery. I am not a monster, so please don't be afraid of me. He felt like a man with that gun in his hand. It was dead or in jail, and I was raised in a field. Well, let's talk about the city that I'm from, Chirac. Kids rob and steal, then get whipped on their back, but it's in a form of discipline, and the family's mostly black. And instead of getting hung, we got blacks killing blacks. 15, he was toting 30s. 14, he was toting max. No child left behind, but kids drop out a lot. Instead of being in class, he'd rather be on the block. Can't even walk to the store without the fear of being robbed. Can't even wear a hoodie without the fear of being shot. Police never been a hero, hadn't charge after charge. That's why he keep it on him. Catch a op and he gon' spark. Kids killed in crossfire, they was playing at the park. No matter who he killed, it was still a life. no more being on that block. He can't even sleep at night. The first step outside, he got booked by blue and whites. Now the judge sentenced him and took away his life. Slavery still exists, it's modern day slavery. I am not a monster, so please don't be afraid of me. He felt like a man with that gun in his hand. It was dead or in jail, and I was raised in a field. Now I'm locked up, yeah, I'm caged in, but these walls are starting to cave in. As I get up off my knees and say amen, I pray for you to pray for me that I behave in. I gave in to temptation with these words mixed in these verses that I be creating. Locked in this cell and I'm far away from civilization. Carving symbols in the wall kinda got me feeling like a caveman. Exclusive, yeah, I've been waiting, but I'm honestly tired of waiting. I'm tired of being tempted by Satan, so you can slow it down, fast forward, replay this, and listen to the words that I'm saying. Slavery still exists, it's modern day slavery. I am not a monster, so please don't be afraid of me. He felt like a man with that gun in his hand. It was dead or in jail, and I was raised in a field. But I remember, everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. Patience is the key to everything getting better. Everything is temporary. Forever, nothing lasts. I was moving too fast. I was moving too fast, y'all. In the city where I'm from, people want to move and run. Don't even want to call the police because what's been going on. They might pull up, kill me, then say I had a gun, then promise my family money, but it's just a refund. They making films about my city, but they not in these streets. It's entertainment to them, but it's real life to me, and it's real life to him, and maybe her. They don't know what we seen. I lost my homie to these streets. I lost money in these streets. I was hungry in these streets, and I was lonely in these streets. Genocide in my eyes, my people getting killed over pride. Murder rate so high, the whole country saying why. So how dare you criticize the loss of people's lives? Always talking about the crime, but you ain't even spent a dime to open up new rec centers or even school funding. All the gang leaders locked up probably ain't never coming back to these streets, so they can't tell us nothing. Like, why would I listen to you if you ain't getting no money? And I think it's funny how Obama from Chicago, so it got me wondering, like, if y'all ain't give me nothing, how I'ma make it to something. But my ambition, my grind, and loyalty gon' make me shine. They think I lost my mind, but I'm just taking my time. My grandma told me, boy, just be patient. But how long have I been waiting? With these dreads in my hair, their perception of me is Satan. But I'm God-fearing. Lord knows I'ma make $1 billion. These streets already show me you can lose your life in a flash and be the next pack in a blunt that somebody about to pass. I thank you.